the avenue for cheating.
Dr. Mustafa Abdulhamid also met with top management of GPHA to discuss few issues pertinent to the industry. There, Director of Tema Port, Sandro Poku, assured of continuous collaboration from GPHA for the betterment of Ghana's petroleum industry.
As far as we are concerned, we'll continue to collaborate with you. Where there are issues with the pipelines or anything, we bring it to your attention. I think recently Tor was working on it. There were some repairs that had to be done on the pipelines. So we hope that you coming in will only deepen our relationship, and then whether any challenges, we meet to discuss, to agree on a common ground.
The new board chairman of Ghana's leader in the oil marketing business, GOIL, Reginald Daniel Laye, has assured the company's shareholders of strategic business decisions that would ensure increased profitability so as to boost shareholder value. The chairman of the board of directors of GOIL also said his board would consolidate gains of predecessors while improving systems that need strengthening.
Our commitment is to make sure that we build on the successes of the past. Of course, we want to strengthen systems that work well, eliminate waste. We would like to welcome greater profitability. And then, of course, we'll be a corporate governance police. We would want to make sure that things are done after the proper fashion. And we would not lose sight of shareholder value.
He praised GOIL's resilience over the COVID-19 period to make profit and pay dividends. Reginald Daniel Laye was speaking at a semi-virtual extraordinary general meeting held in Accra for the ratification and inauguration of 4 appointed directors for the board of GOIL. Management and shareholders of GOIL PLC approved John Boedu, Angela Forson, Edwin Provencal, and Reginald Daniel Laye, who is now the board chairman.
All right, so those were some happenings in the port and maritime industry in the course of the week. Now I'll go straight to introducing our topic for today, and this week we are taking a look at the freight forwarding industry. When we say freight forwarder, who is a freight forwarder? They are the intermediaries between the ports and then the publics. That's the importers and exporters. We're going to tell you the difference between a freight forwarder, a clearing agent, and a customs house agent. Is there any dichotomy you can draw from that? And what are some of the things that they are doing, to sanitize the system and to ensure that their work, is done unimpeded? Well, I'll have the pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Johnny Mante. They call him Forwarder Johnny Mante. He is the Vice Chairman, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders for the Tema branch. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us, Sir John, as I call him. And then we also have in the studios Mr. Nana Fredua Ajimayo-Freata. Yeah. Nana Fredua Ajimayo-Freata. He is the Executive Secretary, Chairman of the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, QBAG, Chairman, and he's also the Executive Secretary of the Committee of Freight Forwarder Associations, COFA.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much indeed. Also joining us via Zoom is Akwesi Sribo Boateng, who is an executive member of the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, that's ACHAG. Good evening, sir. Mr. Sribo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear, loud and clear.
Absolutely. Good evening. Good evening. Matisse, who are bridge how to say? Who did their own?
Very business. All right. Very football business.
Great, fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us. We are happy to have you. So let me begin with you, Mr. Mante, and find out from you, what is your role as a freight forwarder? What do you do when we say you are a freight forwarder?
Thank you very much. Basically, it's simple. We move cargo, all over the world. Wherever the cargo is, we ensure that we move this cargo in a secure, effective, and cost-effective manner. Basically, I like to give examples, so I'll try with this one. Basically, if you have a cargo anywhere in the world, firstly, I will have to ensure the type of cargo that is coming.
Right.
Advise you on the provisions within the country in which that cargo is, the types of transport mode you would require, that will go by air, sea, rail, or now we have even drones carrying cargo. And then also when it comes to port of destination, we also have to look at the requirements within that space. I mean, in the country we find ourselves today and everywhere, it's important for you to understand that there are regulations. There are Food and Drugs Standards Authority. You have to ensure that there are certain products that you don't have to even bring them until you have satisfied these regulations. So basically, as freight forwarders, we look at that space and ensure that your cargo is delivered in a safe environment and in a cost-effective manner.
Right, you just mentioned drones. Are you sophisticated in this industry in Ghana, enough to be able to transport, goods by drones to your clients?
We are doing that now. Don't forget that in Ghana now we are delivering medication by drones.
Absolutely, yes.
So that's logistics. That's what we do. It's part of our business.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I know that's a very, very expensive thing to do if you are going to be transporting by drones and all that. But let me come to Mr. Nana Fredwia Ajuan Friata and find out from you. I am an importer or exporter. I require the services of a freight forwarder. Yeah. How do we normally get in touch with you?
Well, thank you, and good evening once again. If you want to contact a freight forwarder, ideally, or the most easiest way to reach us, or what has often been the case, is by referrals.
Yes.
Yeah, people who normally would have cleared before, has an experience with a forwarder, would normally refer you to another importer or client. But there are other ways. One of it is there are listings. For instance, on the Ghana Shippers Authority website, there are listings of freight forwarders in good standing. You can also have the same on our individual association websites, like the QBAG websites, GIF websites, ACHAC, and the rest of them. The larger ones, freight forwarders or customs house agencies, they come in all categories. There are those who to be considered to be medium-sized, large, and then small. Yeah. The larger ones are able to advertise, in the regular newspapers and on other portals. So these are some of the ways you can reach us.
All right. So, Mr. Sribo, if you want to add something, let me go to Mr. Sribo and come to you. If you can hear me, Mr. Sribo, let me find out from you, how do I become a freight forwarder? Hello, Mr. Sribo. If you can unmute and then...
Can you hear me now?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I would say, as a freight forwarder, I identify the problems in the logistics chain. I satisfy it, or I solve the problems at a profit. That is basically what, as a freight forwarder, that's what I do. You want to move goods to Tamale, you need tracks, you need documentations. That is the problem. My work is to satisfy you what you want by taking your goods to Tamale for at a profit. And so once you are satisfied, your goods is at Tamale and you are happy, my job is done. I get paid.
All right. So I was trying to find out whether there's any qualification I would have to possess before I am enlisted as a freight forwarder. Maybe the minimum, the minimum qualification I need as a to become a freight forwarder.
Minimum qualification, you must attend the customs proficiency school to become a licensed by customs. The schools is normally open once in every 3 years. You write an exam. If you pass, they give you a license. Yeah. It's based on that license that you can open your company.
All right.
Otherwise, they're normal. Now, most of freight forwarders has degrees. Some has masters. Some are even doing their PhDs. And so that's my way of qualification.
Absolutely. All right. So I know some of the men that led GIF before, Frank Sapong, the Honorable Kofi Brako, Carlos Ahinkra, Mr. Kuting, Robert Allship, and all that. I know these are strong men who have been presidents of GIF before, and I know GIF is running a program for people who want to become freight forwarders. Mr. Mante, can you educate us on these programs that GIF is running for?
Yes, I'm actually glad.
Freight forwarders.
Yes, I'm actually glad to speak on this matter. Just a couple of days ago, GIF actually had a particular ceremony for about 200 students. These guys are going to undergo certificate programs diploma programs, and higher diploma programs. I mean, these are international programs, and there is no other institution, I can tell you, on the face of this country that, apart from that which is administered by the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. The programs are tutored and mastered by professionals, pure professionals. Our space is more of a profession. It's a professional. Basically, it's professional grounds. So just like CIM Ghana, or a chartered chartered accountant,
ACCA and all that.
Exactly. So at the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, the institute itself is accredited. The programs are run by FIATA. The board chair is a vice president of FIATA himself,
Right.
There are cracks over there, the brains. I mean, the best of the best. So, I mean, if you go through that program, of course, you're good. I need just to add that for a freight forwarder, you don't, apart from the CHA that is administered by, you find in Section 43, where you go through the customs processes. That is for customs agencies, customs house agents.
Yes.
But for a freight forwarder, the sky is the limit. As much as you can avail yourself to training and undergo conferences all over the world. I mean, that's what makes you a better person. I'm sure as a journalist, you continue to upgrade yourself. You don't limit yourself to degree or a master program. So basically, that's what the space is. In terms of advertising, again, I mean, of course, my colleague mentioned referrals. Just like any business, you need to have a marketing strategy. We have salespeople that go out just like any business. And then, of course, once you're able to build your relationships, you begin to see, you are able to sell. Network marketing, name it, we're everywhere. Wherever there's a conference, we find the president moving an economic team somewhere. We go there, we advertise there. So basically, we break the market. So if you look out, the products that even come, we advise clients as to what actually sells on the market. So our business is very, very broad. Yes, thank you.
All right. As an institute, how many freight forwarders are able to churn out in a year?
In terms of our membership?
Yes, I'm talking about those that you train. I know you run, you just mentioned that, and I'm asking how many people you're able to churn out who are able to access the customs proficiency certificate to be able to operate.
We don't churn out certificates. We train people, or we train people to be able to ascertain a certificate. As in, it's only customs that are mandated to churn out customs house agency certificates.
Right.
At our end, we train members. We train people, whatever your background. Of course, there is a minimum qualification. But wherever you are, SS, we build you up. You do a certificate, and then we build you up and build you up till you write the diploma and then the higher diploma. So in terms of numbers, we run them in batches, depending on the batches. First batch we are running this year is 200 people, 200 students. I mean, some have master's degrees, name it. So this is a different field.
Okay.
Different
it's a specialized area.
A specialized area.
That means that if an SSS graduate comes out and wants to take up a profession in freight forwarding, the fellow can approach GIF, undertake the diploma, advance to the HND, and then perhaps the degree. Do you run degrees and masters?
At the moment, we have affiliations with Cape Coast University, University of Ghana. So yes, there are degrees, but we want to maintain our core. We don't want to kind of be branched into. This is a specialized area, and we want to maintain. We want to have that advantage that we have in the market and keep that going.
Right. Nana, can you bring us up to speed with the difference between a freight forwarder, a customs house agent, and a clearing agent?
Well, thank you once again. Freight forwarders is the umbrella name, the overarching name, because freight forwarders essentially move cargo around the world. They are the intermediaries between the shipping lines and then the importer. But the customs house agent, or what we call an agent in Ghana, or a customs broker, we all work in the same area, but expertise are different. We share certain things in common, but when it comes to the customs house agent or the customs broker, his expertise is dealing with customs.
Right.
I mean, customs, when you work with customs, there are a lot of things you need to know. I mean, the HS code that has been bandied around a lot. It borders on world trade, international trade. The HS code you'd find in Ghana is the same one you find anywhere around the world. The customs broker is supposed to have expertise in these areas, so that whatever you are bringing, they would have to look at the classifications and see where to position the particular cargo or goods that you're bringing in. Yeah, so they liaise between customs, because the technical area, like Johnny said, I mean, they are supposed to go through and, I mean, come up with a tariff they are supposed to pay, the import duty and all the things that are related to it. But we all work in the field of logistics. So that's why the freight forwarding, I mean, name is the more popular one. Yeah. But we basically, like I'm saying, work in the same area. But when it comes to customs house brokerage, you need a license.
Yeah.
And that's the proficiency license. That's what Johnny talked about. I mean, it's organized like once in every 3 years, the program, by customs. It's a reserve area. And yeah, you should have a lot of experience before you even attempt to do the program. Yeah, because there are other people who are also classified as customs house agents. These are retired customs officers who have the experience from having worked in the industry for so long and they've gone on retirement. They are issued a kind of certificate called, what? Aside the proficiency, we get a proficiency agency. They get what we call an exemption certificate. Yeah, they're exempted from going through the...
By virtue of the fact that they've been customs officers before.
Exactly. And then don't forget, they also have gone through training at Petoi before they become. So they are exempted from that. So we call their certificate exemption certificates. Yeah.
Now, in your earlier submission, you made mention of the fact that, yes, if I want to identify or acquire the services of a freight forwarder, you have registries or registers for the various associations or groups. So all I need to do is to, if I want to access the service of maybe somebody from GIF, I go to GIF and then find out, accredited members. We have a lot of these guys under the trees who are operating, and all you need to do is just get the person, perhaps the fellow generates something somewhere and then it's in business about, using perhaps somebody's license or certificate, to clear goods. And, this has created a lot of confusion. And it's still persistent.
Yeah, it is.
So what do you think are the things that we should be doing to sanitize the system?
I think a lot more of the sensitization, like the one you're having. I mean, a time with freight forwarders. I mean, we need to be out there to tell our own story. I mean, freight forwarders have been given a bad name because of these few bad nuts.
Yeah.
And then, like every human institution, you find a mensa somewhere who is doing something untoward. Yeah. But if you want to, engage the services of freight forwarder, like I said, the Shippers Authority is about the main, state agency that deals with shipping.
Right.
So rightfully, a call to the Shippers Authority.
They'll be able to assist.
They'll be able to assist you because they have not just a listing of, say, a GIF member or a QBAG or ACHAG, but all freight forwarders in good standing. Yeah.
Ken, if you allow me, I think this is an area that we are not shy to talk about. It's an area that we are bent on ensuring that the best of course, national revenue is attained. Yeah. So we need the best people on the ground. For instance, at GIF, members in good standing are always published. There are members who, if you're not in good standing, your name would be struck out.
Who's the member in good standing in the first place?
We look at your record over time. Have you done any business with the customs authorities that has, proven otherwise in terms of the declaration that you made? We go to the extent...
Yeah, you're talking about under declarations and all that?
You see,
exactly.
It depends on... Don't forget that. You see, when you have a document, a declaration, my very good friend will say, the bill of lading, the document that you have, it says set to contain. You, the freight forwarder agent, a document that's given to you, you go through it with your client. Yeah. You say you have 200 boxes of microphones. You take the zero invoice that you're given, your supplier, the data that's given, everything. You go all those things through him, with him, your parking list, any other FDA requirements or other requirements that you go through that. The customer doesn't know what's in the container. The agent doesn't know what's in it. It's only the importer or probably his supplier, because there are importers who are here who don't even know what's in their container. All they know is that I've ordered for 200 boxes of microphones. So once we go into the port, if it has to be examined or scanned, that's where we will see all these things. So once we go through that and we find out, look, this guy is clean and is the importer, we report these things to the sector commander. Thankfully, the sector commander has... the Tema sector commander, he's been open, his doors are open every time. We go through these things when investigations happen. The point I'm making is that anytime any importer wants to take cargo in or out of the port, make sure you go on these portals.
Right.
Because they are updated every week.
Every week, okay.
Members in good stand, these are people who have been verified and verified again. Let me tell you what. In fact, we've gone to the extent that if any loan company wants to lend money even to a freight forwarder, he comes to us. We verify before you are extended any facility. That's how far we've gone in terms of making sure that our members are not sacrosanct, but at least above par. Yeah. So, I mean, in any industry, you find people like that, but we are making sure that every single day we make that stride to ensure that we give the best name that we can, that's as professionals as we are.
All right.
So, yes, you go to our portals there. If you don't mind, I'll give you, for gift, for instance, you go to www.giveghana.com. Okay. That's the portal. And then the website is www.ghanafreightforwarders.org. It's there, all the members. If you pick one and you have a problem, you know where to go to.
Easily switch.
Exactly.
Next one, okay. Or you can come to GIF and then they would.
We have a disciplinary. In fact, at GIF we have a disciplinary committee. At COFA there is a higher disciplinary body there, and we look at these issues and we make sure that the best is given to the client. We are there to support everyone and make sure that the right things are done.
Okay. Let me come to you, Mr. Sribo Boateng, if you can hear me and find out. I was just finding out from your colleagues in the studios as to what they are doing. You are an executive member of ACHAG. What are you doing to ensure that your members operate in an atmosphere that does not create problems for you?
Brother, can you come out with the question again, please?
I'm asking some of the things or measures you are instituting as an association to ensure that your members operate without, bringing you into disrepute, without dragging your name in the mud. We have people who would collect importers or exporters' money and then swindle them. And we have people who are not legitimate operators or legitimate freight forwarders. What is your association doing to ensure that people who operate under your name do not flout the rules?
Thank you very much. Firstly, that's the main reason why we have COFA being the umbrella body. Previously, someone would misbehave at Cuba or give for WhatsApp and just move to, let's say, from Cuba, he moved to give. Now, with us coming together under one umbrella, it's not possible for it to misbehave at A and move to B. Two, as my brother Johnny said, we have military committees that when you misbehave and it's reported to us. I said I think 2 years on that committee as a vice chairman, and we're settling a lot of cases. Then I also blame some of our importers. But at my office, when I clear one container, I charge per the standard charging scheduled by the Shippers Authority. The same container be cleared by somebody for 200 Ghana cedis, below what he's supposed to charge. So if you went for an agent, so-called agent, who is sitting under a tree, one, you don't know his office, you don't see his license, you don't see his ID card. You've given him 80,000 Ghana cedis to work for you. Now he's nowhere to be found. And you blame us, the free force. No. So if you want the cheap side, you go under the tree and you are swindled. Why blame me, Johnny, or Floriata? It is not fair. So come to our offices, go to our associations, get qualified free for license free for it. You come to my office, my license is displayed. So you know I am licensed. You see my staff, they have the ID, the company ID, association ID, the GPHA ID, hang around their neck. So you know you are dealing with the right person. But this is a situation whereby you go and you want the cheapest one and that's when you may blame us. So one, we are putting measures in place to make sure that our members are compliant. The importers and our clients should also try and get qualified people, qualified freight forwarders to work with. And I think some of this can be minimized.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed. I just wanted to find out whether there's a mechanism you use across board to ensure that your charges are uniform.
Yep.
Yes. Sorry.
I'll come to you. Yes, Mr.
John,
Sribo, yes.
John, do you want to take that? Okay. Yeah, GIF has a tariff. ACHAG has a tariff. Cuba has a tariff. But Ghana Shippers Authority has one. Broad-based one as well on their website. That we are all supposed to
work
recently
with.
We received a letter from them that we should submit our tariff for this year, which we are working on. So that is that.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. Yes.
Thank you again. In our space, Our regulator is the Ghana Shippers Authority. We are under the Ministry of Transport. Of course, we deal with finance, we deal with trade as well.
Yes.
Yet, Ministry of Transport under with the Shippers Authority as a regulator, what they do is that every year we are supposed to submit, meet, and negotiate as per the law, LI 2190, where all of us go to the Shippers Authority, we meet, we discuss the tariff, because of course, we don't want to just say, I'm charging you 1 by 20 feet contract, measure 5,000.
Yeah.
So they meet, they look at all the factors that go into the trade. They look at neighboring countries, they look at international costs and all that to go into the business. And then we come to a solution as to how much we are supposed to charge. In fact, you have even importers on that panel. Unfortunately, when it comes to the shipping lines, it's a different matter. Probably we'll cross that bridge.
All right, so I just want to find out if I contract you to clear my cargo for me, how do I know that this is how much I'm supposed to pay? Because you have negotiated with the Shippers Authority, you have your tariff. How am I, as your client, going to be able to know that this is the required amount I'm supposed to pay for the services you are rendering to me?
Right. I mean, this again goes back to the Shippers Authority. Like Johnny and the others, and Strabo has already indicated, we sit and then negotiate the rates. So when these tariffs are agreed on, it is also published in the dailies, in the state newspapers. Right. So you find a publishing of that. Right. Otherwise, the various associations also publish them. And we have a book of the tariffs, professional fees. We call it professional fees, both for the airport and then the seaports. Yeah, this is also published by the various associations. But talking about, I mean, let me backtrack a little. Talking about the bad nuts or the bad agents. I mean, Cuba, our motto is honesty and efficiency. This is where we don't look at getting the numbers, but we actually go out of our way to find out the background of the people. We allow them to become members of our association. We actually do a lot of due diligence before we are that, because we are more aligned to the customs house agency bit. And because we are custodians of government revenue, you will think that we have to be a bit more stringent. And then one of the things we do with customs is also what we call a bonding. We're supposed to have a bond between us and the state that protects government revenue. So some of these things are some of the safeguards that shippers who want to do business with our members can rely on, because you know that at the worst, when there's an issue, you can fall back on the mother association, and they would have to sit with the customs and then resolve the issues. But the first thing you have to do to engage a freight forwarder or an agent, as we locally call it, is to check their ID card. Because if you check the ID card, at the back of each ID card, you find a certain number, which comes back to us. So whether it's a fake one or it's an expired one, we can be able to verify and tell you that, well, we can vouch for his propriety.
Authenticity.
Yeah,
okay.
authenticity.
All right.
That's one of the things to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
For that, Johnny, would you want to share with us some of the factors that goes into the calculation of your tariff, and whether you also want to share with us what the current tariff is?
That's not a problem at all. Like I said, our tariffs are not in secret. If you go to our website, it's there. If you go to the Shippers Authority website, it's there. Our tariff is the most publicized tariff within our space. The Ghana Shippers Authority is always publicizing our tariff, so it's no secret. I don't have, because basically you can bring a box of chocolates. There's a charge for it. A container of sugar, there's a tariff for it. A vessel of rice, there's a tariff for it. So to be able to give you specifics,
it depends on the commodity.
Exactly what goes into it. And then, of course, somebody was saying 200 Ghana is big. These are the ceiling. However, if you're bringing me, let's say 200 containers, obviously you would have to negotiate on the price on the tariff
for some discount.
Exactly. So our tariffs are there. I will share one with you as soon as we speak, so you can make it public. It's no secret. I think for the past 4 or 5 years we have not even touched our tariff.
Okay.
For the past 4 or 5, I'm sure about the past 4 or 5 years, we are the only institution that have not touched our tariff. I mean, since COVID started, we decided we're not going to touch our tariff until after things settle down. Then we go. That's what my friend was saying, that the Shippers Authority has written to us to come to table and do a renegotiation of our tariff again. So we are eager to do that. Unfortunately, like I said, the shipping lines have decided not to. They don't go for any tariff reviews, and they do it as and when they please. We are law-abiding and will continue to obey the laws of this country.
Right. Okay, so let me come to you, Mr. Sribo, and find out, have you taken miscellaneous charges off your rates?
No, I have not.
Why?
When you say miscellaneous,
yes,
it depends on what do you mean by miscellaneous. We have different type of clients.
Yeah.
If you ask me to do an idea for you to do a transfer, that is an extra charge extra work I am doing. There are a lot of things we do for our clients that does not come within the tariffs. I am loading 30 containers. I need to buy seals for each of the container. That one is not in the tariff. So those petty things must be grouped and charged as miscellaneous. So miscellaneous is not money that we think we just want to charge, but there are petty things. There are times you have to go on appeal. There are times you have to take sample to the head office. There's transport involved. I need to go to Accra and come back. Those monies must be grouped together as miscellaneous, and my client must pay me for that.
So that means that it cuts across. You guys have not heeded the call for, because that's what most of the importers and exporters complain about. What miscellaneous. Somebody will charge miscellaneous in Kwabé 5,000.
Ken, you see what we are saying. Ken, what we have stated again, and it's very important that people begin to look at the space in which we find ourselves today. Under no circumstance should you first and foremost give any document to anybody unless you have verified the person. That's the first thing. Right. These miscellaneous expenses that you are talking about, I'm telling you, it's because most of these people who are doing this, they are not, you can't find them in our domain. As simple as that. Ken, would you go and give anybody 2,000 cedis for miscellaneous expenses? Would you?
Doesn't make
you wouldn't
sense.
do that. Yeah. So we don't. So verify the person. It's as simple as that. There are scammers everywhere. You know. Yeah. People. You would have people call. Look, I've had experiences where people have called customs officers. Their photos have been used to defraud people, saying that, this officer is selling auction vehicles. Yeah. Fake. Yeah. What we are saying is that GPHA has a tariff. I wonder how many people have seen that tariff, but it's there, it's clear. Everybody within our space are supposed to go to by law, 2190, my brother will read it to you. You go to the Ghana Shippers Authority, you negotiate on your charges. Yeah. The point is that it is expected that, or it's assumed that the Ghana Shippers Authority, under the Ministry of Transport, they have experts. Right. They have facts and figures, data within the sub-region and international, and with our international partners. So they look at all these things, look at the job you do, and then we develop the charges. So these are basic charges, including the importers themselves. So it is not as if we go and sit somewhere and then we decide on what we do. Yeah. It would interest you to note that some of our charges are the lowest within our space. If I tell you how much, you'll check the tariff and we'll probably make it public. Yeah. How much we do for 40-footer content and the kind of work that we do, it will amaze you. Okay, so like Sribo said, there are certain things we do outside that domain. As a freight forwarder, you probably pick a container from, say, New York. The container has to, apart from that container, you're not just picking that container. You have to group the container, get people to come and load that box. That's outside of GPHA tariff. This is something you are doing outside the main customs domain. So there are a lot of things that we do that you will not be captured here. If you go to the shipping lines, there are things that they do, basic service charges that are straight. For instance, if I come to GPHA and you give me a bill of 120 Ghana cedis, say for fixing of ties, it is the same amount I have to transfer to the client. I don't add a penny. That is not the same with the shipping lines. When a shipping line picks a bill from GPHA, he doubles it before he gives to the client. Those are the issues that we have to look at.
Okay, we'll get there. Let me come to you. There are instances where some importers or consignees put you in trouble. Why? Because they bring a consignment and sort of like there's contraband.
Yeah.
And so when something like this happens, how are you able to extricate yourself from the mess?
Well, it's good to answer, but before I do that, let me backtrack to give you my take on miscellaneous.
Right.
One of the things that also, accrues to what we call miscellaneous is that, like they've all said, we do other services beyond the clearing, the core clearing of the goods. So some of them are dealings with the various MDAs, the ministries, departments, and agencies.
Yeah.
So for instance, you have an office in Tema or airport, you have to go to Standards Authority at Legon, you have to go to FDA at Legon, you have to probably go to Veterinary Services Authority around Labadi to secure probably an import license or permit or whatever the case may be. All these services that we do involves cost and some running around. These are the things we group under what we call miscellaneous. Ideally, miscellaneous shouldn't be more than 30% of the charge you are taking. Ideally, that's the rule of thumb. Okay, so now let's come to the major question.
Yes.
Having contraband in containers and things like that. I mean, like...
all of a sudden, the consignee sublimes, vanishes into thin air, and you are the one that's being held because you are the one that was trying to clear the consignment.
Exactly. Like the law of agency says, I mean, you are representing the principal, who is the importer. So you'll be held, responsible up until you're able to produce the importer or the shipper. Yeah, but here you are. The document that actually brings in the thing from the start, that's the BL, says it is said to contain.
Yeah.
So you have not been able to verify. Like Johnny said, none of us have been able to verify.
Yeah.
But if you do your work and you go through the processes they have to go through, then the container in the first place will only be opened in the presence of the customs officer. And then, depending on what is in the container, a few other officers have to be around. If it has something to do with, food, or drugs or veterinary staff, then the various MDAs have to be present. So if such a situation is presented and we come and the container is open, and lo and behold, you find something that's contraband, why would you hold the agent responsible? But like I'm saying, based on that law of agency, you are representing the importer. So you'll be held up until the time you're able to produce the importer. But the law says, innocent until proven guilty. It's part of the hazards of the job. So you'll be held up until the person is found. But obviously the agent has not done anything. He's not a conspirator. He didn't conspire in the packing of the goods. He knows nothing about it. In certain jurisdictions, and this is what we are advocating for when it comes to Ghana, customs is moving towards what they call advanced clearing procedures, where there's less and less intrusive inspection. There's a customs WCO document that talks about NII or NI, which is non-intrusive inspection. If we are heading in that direction, a lot of these things will be eliminated. Because in certain jurisdictions, like I'm saying, the goods are having cleared without agent actually going to see the container in which it's clearing. They don't get to see it. So if that's the situation, then it's going through the scanners and they verify the things that I need. If they find there's something wrong, how do you hold an agent who has not even touched the container or seen the container? But these are rudimentary days. I'm sure we'll get there as time goes on.
Absolutely. All right, so this is Iron Pod here on Metropolitan Television, and tonight we are discussing the role of the freight forwarder in the clearance chain, and we're taking a look at who a freight forwarder is, drawing the dichotomy between a freight forwarder, a clearing agent, and a customs house agent. We'll be back shortly.
Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goil Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goil Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goil Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goil Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
I would like to introduce once again my guest in the studios, Mr. Johnny Mante, who is Vice Chairman, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Tema branch. Mr. Nana Fredria Ejimai-Ofriata is the Chairman of Customs Brokers Association of Ghana, QBAG, and he's also the Executive Secretary of the Committee of Freight Forwarder Associations, COFA. Also joining us via Zoom is Akwesi Sribo Boateng, who is an executive member of the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, ACHAG. All right, so thank you very much. Let me come straight to you, Mr. Sribo, if you are on the line, and find out. I know that as freight forwarders, you work with some, you don't operate in isolation. You don't work in a vacuum. You work with some key stakeholders. Who are some of these stakeholders you work with?
Standard Authority, Food and Drugs Authority, EPA, Narcotic Control, BNI or NIB, Customs, GPHA. I think so far that's GPHA, MPS, Amaris, a lot. So I think I mentioned it.
Okay. So what's your level of collaboration, between yourselves and these organizations that you just listed?
Very, very cordial. It's not very easy, but we try to. The problem we're having with them that some of these stakeholders are using the port as a cash cow instead of regulating the being regulators. They are using the port as cash cow to make money, and that's the problem. That's one thing that we need to look at. But that's the problem we're having with some of our stakeholders.
Aside some of these issues that you have raised, well, do you get them to, as it were, collaborate with you effectively in terms of assisting you to speedily clear your goods?
Sure. I will start with the ICOMs. I didn't give ICOMs a dog chance to survive. And trust me, they've done very well. I will stand up for them. They've done very well. I would like to commend Mr. Ohene, Madam Annabelle, the customs guys involved, BTC, and a few of them. They did very well. And I am happy it's working.
Right.
Because to be very sincere with you, I don't go to church, so I don't lie. My issue is very simple. I thought this thing wouldn't work, and that's what. And I want to talk my heart for them, and they've done very well. So the ICOMS is doing well. The GSA is doing well, but for their charges, Mr. Mona,
you are talking about the Ghana Standards Authority, right?
The Ghana Standards Authority, Ghana Standards Authority. We need to look at them. Are they at the port to make money or to regulate? We need to do a dichotomy between this thing. Because you see, the whole thing looks like
Mr. Sribo, let's not go there, because we need. If we wanted to go there, we would have brought a representative from the Shippers Authority. Once they are not here, let's just leave it at that, so that at the appropriate forum we can get them represented, and then we can bring up these issues, please.
But I am not zooming to one person. I'm talking about those stakeholders, the Shippers Authority, those ones at the ports that regulates the imports,
right?
And how much that's what I'm talking about. Talk about collaboration. If you're collaborating with me and I'm not happy with how much I'm paying, that's the problem.
All right. Thank you very much indeed. So, Mr. Sribo listed some of the stakeholders you work with. Is that all, or there are some that you want to add to the list and tell us how effective this collaboration between yourselves and these agencies have been?
Oh, there are a lot more. There are a lot more agencies. But you see, I can add PPRSD for plant quarantine.
Yeah.
Anything to do with plants,
Yes.
live plants and things like that.
Yeah.
Veterinary. I mean, but freight forwarders or clearing agents basically handle everything that comes into the country. I mean, currently I'm handling some shipment that's supposed to come from the USA, and we're interested to know that these are like dried semen and semen that's been put in some liquid that are supposed to come here for crossing of pigs.
Wow.
So this is how technical the job can be. And in all of these areas, it requires different, expertise.
Yeah.
Right. Aside these agencies, if you remember, we had the National Single Window Project that came on board.
Yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to have done us a lot of good by limiting the number of agencies, the MDAs that we operate with at the port. Yeah. Because these are one of the main sources of the delays at the Ghana port, or the ports, if I say Ghana port. Yeah. Because, like Sri Boys, hinted, most of these MDAs have come to believe, or they see the port as like the cash cow, is a low-hanging fruit area that everybody wants to cash in. Those who are supposed to be just regulating, they keep increasing their rates and tariffs, and you wouldn't understand whether they are commercial entities or they are regulators. This is the problem we have. So we have something we call GMIS that's supposed to limit the number of MDAs that help with the clearing to just 3 of them. Yeah. So currently we would have to deal with the FDA.
That's the Joint Inspection Management System?
Yes, Joint Inspection Management system. So, this is what is limited down. Otherwise, you have to deal, in some instances, you have to deal with about 8 of these MDAs at a go. And one of the frustrations that we go through is that at the point when one of the agents is ready, the MDAs is ready, the other is not ready. Yeah. So you have to go around and get all of them together before a container is open for them to do their work. Otherwise, you open, you finish, you lock, you go for the other one. Yeah. So this is what the joint inspection has brought to sanitize that area. Okay. But we deal with several other more agencies. Right.
All right. So I'll be coming to some text messages that we have received. But let me come to you for Johnny, and find out what are some of the challenges. I know that automatically they just listed some of them. What are some of the challenges you encounter in the line of duty?
In fact, when I try to speak on who a freight forwarder is, I told you about cost effectiveness. Yeah. So basically, cost is the major part. So wherever we encounter cost, or in the form of delay or anything, it's quite problematic. Within our space, there's been a lot of talk on all the agencies that have been mentioned, and what we can do, in fact, is to continue to judge, basically, because if you look at FDA, for instance, they have a role to play. If you look at during this COVID era, they've had to look at how things come in. So they are very particular about whatever comes in. I think it's important that the sensitization education we increase. We go on the increase. We invite them to come. That's what we're doing at the moment, because most people don't actually know what is expected of them. So lately I've seen them most of the time when ICOMs, they are having their training, they are always there to ensure that people understand. But I think we need a major forum, a big forum where all these issues can be addressed. I know Professor Dudu at the Standards Authority himself also has mentioned that if it is possible, Ghana Standards Authority and Food and Drugs Board, there should be some kind of cooperation. But there are same products, you have to go to GSA and you have to go to FDA. And you kind of, though they are looking at standards, you kind of can't find a dichotomy, as you said. It's all kind of a little bit cumbersome. And once you delay and you are paying what do you call it? Registration fees to these agents, it still costs. Professor Dodu, I recall the last time he had to say, okay, well, he understands. So, the new charges that were supposed to come on, he put a stay on it, he stayed on it, and that has not been implemented as we speak. But of course, going for these are some of the issues that we like to look at. We like to understand what exactly are people supposed to do. There should be clarity. Other than that, the confusion and cost, and that's what creates the delay and the kind of confusion that you'll find within our space.
Okay, so let's go to some text messages. This one says, good evening, Mr. Mona. Thank you very much for this program on our import, but it seems you are not giving the freight forwarders the opportunity to discuss what their issues with the shipping lines are. Would you kindly allow them to voice it out? Well, this one is from Jemima, listening to us in Takoradi. So, what are your issues? What are your issues with these lines? Just briefly.
The shipping lines actually are not playing fair. To say the least, they basically seem to not care. And the charges that they churn out is what is killing our economy and our industry. The ordinary Ghanaian on the street, the person that needs some medication for the mother sitting somewhere in Suta or Lake Bay or wherever. I mean, they cannot wake up. You go to a line today, and tomorrow there's a different charge. We've asked the Ghana Shippers Authority, we cannot continue fighting like this. We cannot continue to come to the media and then begin to throw tantrums like this, as if we are children and we have nowhere to go. We have an authority, that's the Ghana Shippers Authority. It's been clothed with all the power and the laws that it requires. Parliament sat down. The minister actually did his regulations.
Johnny, let me add this message. This one says, good evening. My name is Kobe. I have a problem with Maersk Ghana when you request for an invoice of container, both administration and stuffing and demurrages. They'll give you only the administration, leaving the stuffing and demurrage. When you raise a request for additional demurrage charges and others, it takes 3 days or a week. And when you call them, sometimes they pick up and hang up, or they'll pick up and ask you to hold on, or pick your bill of lading number. You know, someone is working on it, except it is in 15 minutes. The next time you call, they say expect it in 30 minutes, and then you don't actually know how these things are. I mean, it's jumbled up.
Representatives of Maersk Line, most of them sit in India, and you make a request for.
I don't want us to be fixated at one particular entity, even though this particular person cited Maersk. But I think that looking at your relationship with the shipping lines and how it is affecting or impeding your work.
The shipping lines are not playing fair. We are not asking for too much. We are only asking them to play fair. We are asking them to abide by the regulations as set out in LI 2190. The Shippers Authority are supposed to regulate all charges within a space. They don't do it. They put additional charges. What is port additional charges? If anybody said port additional charges, in your mind, you probably feel it is a GPHA charge. It is not. It's a charge that's emanating from the shipping lines. I loaded containers yesterday. Today, I cannot return the containers. The lines are closed. You can't pay. Look, customs works 24/7. Why is the shipping lines not working 24/7? Why? Today, you can pay your duty at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. You can't do that with the lines. You can't pay. 2 o'clock, the portals are shut. You have a container. You are returning it. They are not working. But don't forget, they keep charging you. Saturday, Sunday, holidays, the shipping line is charging. What wrong have we done? What is it? Tell me, which space does this occur? We are not asking them for favors. We are asking us, play fair with us. If I have to pay 200 cedis, why am I paying 200? I think you will do that, wouldn't you? So why is that? They are not fair. Look, let me tell you what. Barge freight, consolidated shipping, most of the business, there's no job under the sun that they cannot do. They do the biggest job. I'm telling you, a Mary Power project, it was done by these guys. The lines have come, instead of them bringing money into the country, especially because once your vessel comes to town, all right, the line over there, that's, say, name it, you're not supposed to, you say we shouldn't mention lines. They're supposed to send money over here because there is the voyage estimate. You are doing a voyage estimate, you say, okay, when I come to Tema, GPHA and all those things, I have charges to pay. They don't do that. They impose demurrage, put additional charges, administrative charges, cleaning of container. You are cleaning. What are you cleaning from the container? All these charges have already been factored in your freight. Right. These are the things we are saying. Okay. We'll be fair with
so let me activate the phone lines right now. The number to dial is 02055283553, 02055283553. Give us a call and you can contribute to the discussion.
Ken?
Yes.
I speak on this not because I'm afraid for it, because I'm a Ghanaian. Not because look, these ones don't come from me. But the point is that we all pick stuff from the market. You will go to the market, your wife will go to bank, your child will go to school. If you talk about the rent that people even pay today, it's because of these lines. Yeah. Because all the things, the things you use in building a house, your windows, all these things are important. And if you come to a line in there, every single day the charges keep going up. After you've paid your freight, then where are we going? It's not fair.
Right. So we'll deal with that. Like I said, the lines are activated, so callers come.
And coupled
to... And we have here from Tema on the line. If you can hear me, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, please flow.
Hello?
Yes, Yao.
Yes.
Please flow, sir.
Okay.
We are listening to you.
Yes, my name is Yawunsia, calling from Tema.
Yes.
Yes, in fact, I'm listening to your guest from what John Mante is saying. Hello.
Yes, we are listening to you. We can hear you.
Yes, the fact is that I will wish that all the clearing company, the agents, those associations, should come together. Yes.
Okay, all right.
They should come together under the Customs House Agency. Yes, because one, John Mante is saying that their regulators are the shipping lines. And the Customs House Agency, their regulators are supposed to be the customs. And in actual fact, all these fraudulent activities in the port are being caused by the gate. Yes, because they are dealing with the shipping lines. And the shipping lines are those who are giving out the bill of lading. By natural fact, the whole transaction is between the importer and the exporter. You see, so that if the whole deal is between an importer and the exporter, that means that these people are only dealing with what? The freight. They can only deal with the freight.
Okay.
If it comes to the actual fact, like dealing with the customs procedures, it is the Customs House Agency. In other jurisdictions like India, where their customs systems are correct, it is the Customs House Agencies who are recognized.
Right. Thank you very much, Independencia. You made your point.
Other deals than those things, because of that, this clearing agency gives people are trying to manipulate it.
Right. Thank you very much indeed. We are grateful to you, Mr. Ansia, for your time and for your call. You can also call the number 0205553. We're glad to pick your call. This one says, good evening. This one is from Ohima, from Tema. She says, good evening, Iron Port. The issue is not about the so-called under-tree clearing agents. It's about the absence of a level playing field in the industry, as well as the absence of a governance structure. It has become a game. It has become a game of who can get the best, lowest values for the trader. That's what matters to the trader, not the one with the finest office space. Well, I think I agree. In a way. This one says, still from the truth of the matter is that miscellaneous will continually be a feature of agents' invoice because, unfortunately, most of the people the agent deals with on the field mix themselves unofficial collectors from gangs, rich stackers, forklift operators, to exit gates, etc. Simply put, miscellaneous is actually to what drives facilitation on the field during clearance. I agree. All right, Fred from Authority, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mona.
Thank you very much indeed for your call. Please
yes,
flow.
Good evening, John. Yes, Mona, I think the point John is trying to put across a very good point, which we need to be very difficult. Sometimes.
Can you speak up a bit, please?
Yeah, okay, sure. So, I said sometimes, as an importer, you bring your goods, to the port, and then after doing everything, you hear there is this shipping line fee that you one must go and then pay. And it adds up to the cost of everything that, an importer does. So when you come back to the market, it becomes so higher, and then the payment becomes, a bit difficult. So I think the government should be able to do something about it, because it's been something that, the freight forwarders have spent time without number, and then importers are so worried about it. I don't see any commitment from the government, and it's becoming, one too many. So we need to do something about it. The shipping lines are milking us dry, and we need to do something about it. So that's my point, and I feel John is doing a very good work. I'll congratulate him for that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much, Fred. So we have two callers already. I don't know whether you want to respond to them, or we can go to some messages and then come and pick some more calls, and then we'll sum it up. Yes, let me go to Mr. Sribo. He has not spoken for some time. Thank you very much, Mr. Sribo. You've heard our callers. Do you make anything? What would you say about the concerns they've raised?
My issue is the shipping line. But if you are in a position whereby the more you delay me, you make more money. Why would you delay me?
Yeah.
The more the goods delay at the port, I make more money. Then there's the incentive for me to delay. As Johnny just said, why is it that you can't drop your container Saturday, Sunday, or you can't do a release Saturday, Sunday? If I have a telephone release from my principal, what else does the shipping line wants from me again? Now they'll take your ID card, they'll take your shipping. What is it? Now in their system, they have all our name. They know all the registered freight forwarding companies. But you see, all these bureaucracies are there for them to make money from the system. But that's what I speak to you now. The exchange rate per Bank of Ghana is about 5.9. The shipping line is 6.5 per $1. They are charging 6.5 per $1. That's how much they used to calculate duty for us. And there's nobody there to speak for us. So either pay or you keep quiet. That is why I think there's no need for us paying money to Shippers Authority. It's a waste of time. Because when it comes to pay forwarders,
I'm sorry, Mr. Scribo, we shouldn't go there. No, I will not allow you to go there. We would have had a representative of Shippers Authority who wanted to discuss them. I beg you, please, let's not go there. Please, let's not go there. I beg you. You can make a point without necessarily, mentioning them or, trying to denigrate them. We don't have their representative here. And so,
I need to mention them. They're supposed to regulate us. Someone is charging me $6.5 per CD. And who must to? It's not the shipping line, it's not the regulator. So who do you want me to mention?
Ken.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. You made a point, Mr. Sribo. I'll come back to you. Let's go to the phone lines and speak to Kevin, who's calling us from Tema. Hello, good evening, Kevin.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
I would like to also add my voice to this issue with it.
Can you speak up a bit, please, Kevin?
Okay, I'd like to add my voice to the issue with the shipping line.
Yes.
Look, it's terrible. These shipping lines are charging us every day. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay. These shipping lines are charging us every day. Meanwhile, sometimes you request for an invoice. The point is for them to respond with the invoice. It's actually killing us. You have a shipping line in Ghana who has their operation somewhere in Malaysia. So you request for an invoice. Sometimes you get your cargo. The cargo is on a daily mortgage. You need them to give you the invoice. So, and then you send the container. You request for an invoice in the morning, and you are told that something is working on the invoice in Malaysia. You call the announcers. Somebody call in Malaysia and tell him he's now going to follow up for somebody to work on it. Sometimes you even go to the...
Hello. All right, I think Kevin's line has dropped. This message says other shipping lines, it takes other shipping lines take a deposit of 2,000 for a container. That's 140-footer container, which is also high. Let's not forget there's this national security office who gives us problems. When your document is green, the driver can pick up the scan around 10 p.m. This security will ask the agent to come around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and sometimes he'll ask you to cut the seal out from the container, which means while the document is green, after giving him the documents to go through with the invoice and the parking list, he even doesn't know what he is doing over there. So please, we need educated national security officers, not non-educated people. Okay, I think it's a concern that the authorities are listening to, and perhaps there's need to make adjustments and changes. If indeed what you are saying is true, they would try and then address it. Yes, Nana, you wanted to make a submission?
Yeah, I just wanted my take on the shipping line issues. Yeah. They've come in for mention, not because we have anything particularly against shipping lines, but of the port digitalization, the paperless port, the national single window, all the various projects that have been undertaken at the port.
Yeah.
The aim is efficiency. In fact, logistics is all about efficiency. And anything that slows down logistics adds up cost. Shipping lines have no incentive to tow the same line.
Yeah.
Because they, on the other hand, make their money when they slow down the process. And you deal with the shipping lines at the very early stage of the clearing process. Sometimes even before you pay duty, or immediately after paying duty, you have to go and get what we call first release from the shipping lines.
Okay.
So they really have no incentive to, play their role in this port efficiency project. So, like we are saying, whether they have to delay you to make some more money from demurrages, whether it has to do with exchange rate disparities. Unfortunately, the governor of the Bank of Ghana says they can't do much about it at the last presidential business summit. We're almost helpless when it comes to the shipping lines.
So let me pick me from Tema. I think today most of the callers are calling us from Tema. I don't know whether it's because you have your base there. But good evening, Mimi.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, thank you very much for calling in. Please go ahead with your submission.
Thank you for the opportunity as well. I would like to contribute a little to what my bosses are saying. You see, when you go to the airport, they don't charge weekends and then holidays. But when you come to Tema Port, the shipping lines charge holidays and then weekends. Meanwhile, we work, but they don't work during those times. So as my boss there is saying, they are not being fair to us. So my plea is that they should consider certain things they do, because they are really, really collapsing our jobs. Because you charge all these things, and then when you are charging an importer, you will say that I'm paying too much on this consignment, so it affects, in a way, affects your charges. So we are pleading with them to really take a look at it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much indeed, Mimi, for calling us from Tema. You are indeed our last caller for tonight. We're not going to be able to pick any more calls. And so, yes, you were making your submission, Nana Ofriata.
Like I'm saying, the shipping lines have no incentive to play their role in this port efficiency project that we are embarking on. Because, after the signing of the trade facilitation agreement, we are supposed to do everything possible to enhance trade.
Yeah.
And they have no incentive, like we said. When you even finish at the tail end of the clearing process, when you've actually taking your goods out of the container and return them to port. For instance, as we sit here today, MPS is working, GPHA is working, shipping lines are not working. You can't return your container to their depots. Yet, you have to hold it. So if, for instance, you finished on a Friday and you want to return it, if you didn't get there before 4 o'clock, there's no way they can take your container. So you have to hold on to your empty container at your own cost. You know, the transporter who brought it, he has to carry it on. It's your headache from Friday night all the way to Monday before you accept this container. Why do they do this? It's only one, the profit motive, so that they will charge you for the days that you're holding on to their container. So the question is, why wouldn't the port authorities come together? Then let's see how we can do this, digitalization or facilitation business to accommodate the shipping lines and the mess they are creating around the port.
Right.
It beats my imagination. Logistics is all about efficiency. You see, Ghana, our ratings in the Logistics Performance Index of the World Bank, we are currently around 2.45. I mean, when we are compared to our neighbors, even though we've had, state-of-the-art port in the Terminal 3 MPS, and all of these things that government is doing to make our port more efficient, the shipping lines, they are our bane. They do everything to add up the cost of clearing and the ease of doing business in Ghana. So our appeal is that the government and the state authorities that have been mandated, clothed with the power to call them to order.
All right, this one says, my name is Fulbems. I hope I have not massacred your name, Fulbems. And it says, I would like to plead with you to use your platform to invite the Ghana Shippers Authority to find out from them why they are unable to regulate the shipping lines, and they have allowed them to charge any charges that they deem chargeable for them. Now, for what reason are the shipping lines charging importers port additional charges? Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Your point is well noted. I'm sure we'll deal with it. Mr. Seribo. Mr. Seribo.
I'm here.
Yes.
I'm here.
All right, so we have barely 5 minutes to wrap up. Tell me, what are some of the things you would like to see changed so that your operations as freight forwarders will be smooth?
We need a very powerful regulator to regulate the activities of the shipping lines at the port. Because you see, even in football, we have a referee, we have 2 linesmen, and then we have now we have even a VAR. So whereby we have a referee who is not fair at the port. When it comes to Chelsea, he is strict. When it comes to Arsenal, he's very soft. There will not be peace. So we need an airline that says that the shipping lines, Saturday, Sunday, you are not able to charge. 2, the exchange rate per the port must be based on the Bank of Ghana rate. So if we have this level playing field, as my brother said, check the cost of doing business index of the World Bank again and see the position of Ghana 4 years ago. And just compare where we were. It's all because, as I speak to you now, my workers are working. Let's say the C number on the container is wrong, but there's no shipping line tonight to cross check. The container must all pack. If they are 30, I need to leave them there Monday for them to correct the C number because they don't have a rep tonight to do it for me. And we're paying money to somebody to regulate. They are paying nice declaration to be a regulator by their own law. He's not doing his work. So we are not about to force them to do their work. I'll give another authority that will be able, when the shipping line hears their name, they will shiver.
Right.
And do their right.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Seribo. We are grateful to you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, my brother.
Let me come to the studios. 1 minute apiece because my producer told me we have barely 3 minutes to wrap up. So for the month,
I'll touch on a couple of things. 1, GPHA. We understand there is a very innovative idea of doing 24/7 within the Golden Jubilee Terminal. However, we have put out there are certain things has to be done before we take off on the 24/7. 1, the lights at GJT. We can't work with that. Golden Jubilee Terminal, at the Golden Jubilee Terminal, the lights, if we have to go 24/7, we expect that all the lights are up and doing. The lights are about 500 meters apart. That won't work.
Right.
If they have to move the lights and then bring them closer together, that would be 1. The surfaces are way too oily. People are slipping. Cargo that are eatable cargo. Edible. Thank you very much. Yeah. You can't put those things on the ground. The safety of the officers and agents are also something that has to be taken care of, especially the oil surface. We have to look at it. Right. We need a canteen at that terminal. If you go to MPS, the MPS has a canteen, and then of course a place where your visitors can sit. Yes. These are things that are not beyond GPHA. We know you can do it. If you talk about the shipping lines, we've spoken about them. This platform, I must say, this is the platform that everybody listens to when it comes to issues of port.
Right.
We would want you to bring shipping lines, bring the Shippers Authority. We have no problem at all.
We'll do
any
that.
Day, any time. We will be here to win. Again, lastly, there is a beautiful article that's been written by one Louis Jan Kofi on why Ghana needs an indigenous line. Right. Look, the kind of money that these guys have taken away, you have no idea.
We are running out of time. So let me just take 30 seconds, Nana, and then we wrap up.
Okay, I mean, we wouldn't seem as though we are just hitting on the shipping lines. I think another major agent is the Customs Authority. Like I've already stated, we need to encourage them to do more of, less intrusion when it comes to inspection of goods. Because this is advanced shipping, what the WCO has been advocating. When it comes to the intelligence agencies at the port, the NIB or BNI hitherto, National Security and Defense, we plead that they should work more with intelligence than wanting to see every single document. I don't believe that's the work of intelligence. That will necessarily have to go through them for each and every shipping. They should work with intelligence more until they find something, then they move in. All these things go to delay the efficiency of the port.
Thank you very much indeed. Yes, thank you very much indeed. Nana Frederick Ajiman Ofriata is the chairman of the Customs Brokers Association of Ghana and executive secretary of the Committee of Fit Forward Associations. We were on the line also with Kwesi Boateng, who is an executive member of the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, ACHAG, and also with further Johnny Mante, vice chairman, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Tema branch. We are deeply grateful to you, gentlemen, for your time. Remember, the repeat version of I Am Port will be aired on Ghana television at 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday. My name is Kennedy Mona. Many thanks to you for listening and viewing, and have a super week ahead.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.